And here we go guys, the final video of this series is here. How many of the 101 problems from this video were fixed? 27! A pretty low amount, but some really helped the game out. At least we got something. Let's see which ones were patched. Many vehicle spawns were broken before. This helicopter for instance would spawn 20 plus copies of itself into each other. Stealing it was impossible sometimes since you could die while approaching them. Well, I gave it 20 minutes of testing and it did not glitch out even once, so I would say that this problem was fixed. The underside of this lighthouse island in Portland was messed up. We saw floating terrain all around and holes underneath it. Approaching it now, you'll see how nothing is floating, it's smooth and nice looking. Still in GTA 3, underneath this road, they seem to have forgotten to fill up the hole. That's right, looking up you could see the whole world. Well, this hole is nowhere to be seen, it's almost pitch black now. Awesome! Many billboards here were missing the pictures. This one in particular stood out since only half of it was missing, and it should have been a whole picture. Well, now it has a whole picture and it was fixed. This one used to be the dumbest thing imaginable. We had a cheat in the OG, which had black in the name, which made vehicles black. That makes sense, right? Well, the same cheat in the defective edition made vehicles lime, purple, taxis stay the same, police vehicles stay the same, and so on. It was a mess. Well, can you imagine? The cheat I wanted painted black makes vehicles black! Crazy, I know, still boggles my mind how this was a thing in the defective. In this particular spot in the Vercetti Mansion, water could act weird when raining and it could fall into the air. In the same spot now, this will never happen and that's great. There used to be a fake fence here in the rich part of town. CJ could just walk into it. Well, not anymore, this fence acts like a normal fence now. These light posts were placed normally in the OG. In the defective edition, some butt munch buried them pretty deep. And after the newest patch they were dug up again. I see the taxpayer money going to a good cause. Just like in real life, nobody knows what they're doing and why they're doing it. CJ's fingers were broken in the defective edition. Maybe that's where the name defective came from? Well, he visited a hospital in the newest patch since they're now straight. You could see a lengthy hole here in Los Santos. This fence was trying to cover up its crimes, but it wasn't helping much. The same hole does not exist anymore and everything is fine. CJ's chain with certain body types used to merge with his torso, making it look dumb and broken. Because it was. Well, now it's mostly fixed. You can only see a little tiny imperfection on his left side, but still it's a huge improvement. This bridge was cut in half. A big part of it was elevated for some reason and did not connect properly. Well, here's the bridge again. There's no hole to be seen anywhere, it's almost perfect. This bridge had a very weird glitch where if you approach it, it could disable its lights. Going away would turn them on. And that was only on the last part of the bridge. Since the lighting was fixed in the newest patch, this issue was also addressed. There was a dumb sign here on this hill in San Fierro. Why weird? Well, it kinda didn't exist. You could just walk into it. The same sign now has a collision and you can just walk through it. This ship was improperly placed before, part of it was sticking out and you could walk into air. Well, here's me testing it with a heli and as you can see I'm not landing, this was fixed. Once upon a time this used to be a ramp in the OG, but it was invisible in the defective edition. It's now back to being a ramp and this makes me happy. During the mission reuniting the families while CJ was firing his AK, if he increased his weapon skill, the AK would start floating. It looked like nobody was holding it. Here's the patch, I got several skill increases, I'm still in first person and I cannot see the gun. Great fix. Do you guys see this fence? Of course you don't. Why should you? It's invisible. But its collision stays. If you wanna see it, you gotta play the newest patch. It's back here. There used to be a tiny hole here next to a high traffic area in Los Santos. Both CJ and NPCs could sink into it. Well, it's now filled up and whatever you do, you cannot fall into it. CJ could not grip the elliptical machine at the gym on the beach. He was holding nothing. While this is not perfect now, he is at least touching it, so it's an improvement. And here's a downgrade disguised as a fix. This tree used to be poking through a fence, an insignificant problem nobody should have bothered fixing. Well, they did fix it, by removing the tree. That was the fix. I wish I was making this up, but no, it's gone. As the Salvatore mentioned important, the player's position was not properly placed on the minimap. Well, here I am in the same spot and it shows up normally. There was a tiny gap in this pier where you could see the ocean. This was patched up and the hole is no longer present. Inside of these red circles where the finish line was, there should have been a checkered flag icon. Problem was the icon was way high up in the sky for some dumb reason. Now it's back down and you could actually see it. The hospital had a pretty big gap on its backside. I called it the butt crack. Well, the butt crack was filled up after the patch. I cannot fathom how this existed before, but this whole section was broken. You sank in. It's not just a random place either, you could actually land here while picking up horseshoes. Well, now it has proper collision, good job. In GTA 3, these stairs here were unusable. You could just not go up unless you really struggle and shuffle your body from left to right. Well, here's the newest patch, I'm trying to get up and as you can see it's smooth sailing from here. Alright guys, we looked through all 5 videos of 505 problems. How many of them were fixed? 38, plus 33, plus 28, plus 19, plus 27. A total of 145 out of 505. And this was from one single patch. If we get a few more, then these editions could actually become playable and preferable. Could you imagine a definitive edition being better than the originals? Whoa! Seriously though, 145 is actually a big number and I appreciate all the work which went into this. Do I recommend it? Absolutely not! Go play the originals! They are still 1,000 times better than this garbage. A few color changes are not gonna save your game, guys. Fix the glaring problems and I'll revisit this again and possibly even recommend it, could you imagine? Also guys, do you think I'm done? Haha, I'm definitely not. So what happened was, before the patch came out, I was working on a 6th video of this series. The video was about to release in like a couple days and the game got updated so you could not see the video. There was no point in releasing it. So now in a separate video what I'll do is I'll look through all these problems which you guys have not seen yet. I'll show you the problem from before and how that one was fixed. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed, thank you so much for watching and a special thank you to Ola Velikanen, Keznaes, Sean Pasca, Faith, Munish Puri, Pahish Sash, Chishinte, Bad Boy Hero, Jebediah, Redux, Versetti Gwen, Jim Francescos and everybody else.